In the repair shop today, leather restorer Suzie grapples with a tough old sporting bag that's reluctant to play ball.
Always makes me nervous when I have to bring Grandad's pliers into play. I can't afford to bust this stitch. Oh, there was a bit of resistance.
While for Will, life's a box of delights as he restores a battered Far Eastern heirloom.
I love carving, so any excuse to get my chisels out is all fine by me.
But first to arrive at the barn are Linda Konieczny and her daughter Lucy Galloway, with a very special toy in dire need of an MOT.
Hello.
Morning.
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 How you doing?
Mechanical expert Steve Fletcher
Hello.
is the perfect man for the job.
This is a car my father made for me back in the 50s.
And your father's name was?
Venanti. We had a name for him.
Grandpa Fixer. He could just fix everything, anything. It didn't matter
A bit
what
like
it was.
someone I know, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about your father, then.
My father was Polish.
Right.
When he was 15 years old, the war started, and he was taken from his family, along with a lot of other boys, to be shot.
Why? What happened?
Apparently, a young boy from the Boys' Brigade shot a German soldier. So as reprisals, they gathered up all the boys of the town and massacred them. He managed to feign when his line were being machine gunned down, and with the help of somebody in the town, he made his escape out of the city. He was recaptured and he was taken to work for the Germans in an iron foundry. So hence his love of working with metal.
Okay, right.
Because that was the only trade he knew. The next bit of the story is, unbeknown to him, the French resistance were working in this
In the same
place.
factory, okay.
And one day, sort of, do you want to escape? And he said, why not? Why not? And he walked from Hamburg through Germany, Holland, Belgium, all the way through France,
Right.
to Perpignan. There he got on a boat that took him to Britain, and there he joined the Polish Free Army.
Wow.
And he fought in France at D-Day.
This needs to be a movie, doesn't it? So where does the car come in, then? When did he make this for you?
I was about 5. I've got 2 brothers. And he just made our childhood magical. He used to disappear into his workshop. It was just full of tools. He used to make aeroplanes long before remote control, so we were the dog's bodies. We used to have to chase after them and retrieve them. Or sometimes we would go over to my infant school.
Yeah.
So that's where we used to let this go.
So what would it do, then? What would it...
I can't remember whether it went in a straight line or round and round in circles,
Okay.
but it just went like the clappers,
Went like the
till it ran out of fuel, I guess.
Yeah.
It's very, very precious. I lost my dad November 18, and when my brothers and I were clearing out his workshop, I didn't want any of his tools, but I said, what I do want is the racing car.
So this car means a lot to the family, then?
Yes.
I'd better have a look at it now. This is so well made. The bodywork has been beautifully crafted. What's the significance of the bee that's on here?
I don't know, but it's something I would like to maintain if you can. I hope that's the engine, because I found lots of different bits and bobs
Okay.
in it.
If I can get it working, what would your plan be for it?
Oh, I'd love to show it and share it with my grandchildren,
Yeah.
just to reminisce of my childhood.
And tell them about their great-grandfather.
Yeah. I'm very proud of my dad and his achievements. I think he's a hero. Yeah.
Steve, you got enough to go on?
Well, I've got a lot to go on it.
Thank you for bringing the car in.
Thank you.
You take
Bye-bye
care
now.
now.
Bye-bye. The car represents everything my father stood for, really. He was gifted. He could make anything and repair anything. After his passing, that was the one thing of him that I've held on to. And so it would be lovely, it would be wonderful if Steve could repair it.
I've worked on a few cars like this, but most of them are manufactured by companies. And I love it when I get a handmade car like this, especially when it's been so well built. The bodywork has been so well crafted, and that's not easy at all, crafting that and getting that to that shape. Fernanti was an engineer, and it's quite an honour to work on something that's been built by an amazing man. Linda thinks that this is the motor that went with the car, but I'm not so sure, because I know Linda said it did go like the clappers, but I've got a feeling it's too fast. But I think what I'll do is clean up the motor and see if I can get it going, just to check to see what sort of speed it will run.
Next to arrive at the barn is Joyce Hutchinson from Wigan, with a piece of her family's sporting heritage. She's hoping leather expert Suzie Fletcher will be able to bring it back off the sidelines.
Hello.
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 How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Now, that looks like a beautiful bag.
It's a crown green bowls bag. It did belong to my grandfather, and he was a crown green bowler.
What's a crown green bowler, then? What is it?
Crown green is more rounded, so the bowls go...
Like up a little hill?
Yes.
And then back down?
And back down the other side.
Oh, wow. So there's proper skill into it, then?
Yeah, oh, yes, it's
so
quite
I can't
skillful.
just pick one up and just start bowling it? It wouldn't work?
You could try.
So your grandfather, what was his name?
His name was Edward Taylor. He was born in 1904 in Wigan.
OK.
He was a window cleaner. He was quite a local character.
OK.
He rode a bicycle with a wooden ladder balanced on his shoulder.
No way.
Wow.
Yes. And he was very interested in sport.
Right.
So he introduced me to crown green bowling. He also introduced me to cricket and hockey. And his influence, encouraging me to play sport, made me become a PE teacher.
Oh, that's incredible.
That is incredible.
And he influenced my father, and he taught him how to bowl. And he actually bowled for Wigan County Police.
How did your grandfather feel about your
Yes,
dad getting better than he was?
There was a little bit of competition between them. And we had family occasions where we had little inter-family competitions.
Yeah.
And I would like my sons to bowl as well.
Really, so it's a big family affair of bowlers.
Yes. My middle son has a set of bowls which belong to Edward Taylor. And we would like to pass those to my grandson because he's named Edward after my grandfather. The bag would eventually pass down to 5 generations.
Now, that's a legacy. It's over to Suzie then, isn't it?
Yeah.
No pressure.
It is quite precious.
It's a cracking design in what
Yes.
seems like a very simple bag.
But what's wrong with it, then?
Well, there's a stitching has come undone.
Just a little bit,
And because
yes.
the bowls are very heavy,
Yeah.
the bowls would fall out. And it looks like there was a number 2 there.
Yeah, yeah.
And so whether he was the second person in the team, I'm not sure.
I mean, it's an absolutely gorgeous bag, and you've got those rivets on to make it really strong. I mean, really, the only thing that's come apart is the seams, which you would expect after all these years. The design is something else.
So it's well made, Suzie,
It is so well made.
Yeah.
It really is. It's going to go on for years and years, this. I love it. Really love it.
You happy, Suzie? I've never seen Suzie smile so much.
I can't wait to get started.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for bringing it in.
You take care now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
I'm feeling excited now that I've left the bowls bag behind I think my granddad would be immensely proud that it's going to be like a family heirloom that passes down through the generations.
It's amazing how one person could just influence so many generations in sport.
I know, it's really interesting, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do then? You've got to obviously fix the side of that because that's just coming off.
I'm going to resew all the seams, all the stitching around the front here, just to make sure everything is back into tip-top condition.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of surface dirt on it. The other thing that's missing is this number two. It'd be nice if you could maybe get hold of a number 2 that I could mount on that.
Well, that ain't a problem. I can get Brenton on that, but I can't stand here admiring it all day.
OK.
Work's got to be done, isn't it?
All right, sounds good.
No problem.
Even though this case was very well made initially, it has started to fall apart. So I expect this side will come apart quite easily as well. Recently, working on cases has just become my latest obsession within leatherwork. So a case like this, I can definitely admire the workmanship and the thought that went into this. Now I've got those sides out, I can go around, remove all the old threads, and then I can start the cleaning process.
In the outdoor workshop, Steve's about to test the engine that came with the homemade toy car, which used to race around at breakneck speed in the 1950s.
Just going to pop some fuel into the tank.
His main concern is whether or not this diesel-powered part will be safe enough for present-day use.
I've no idea whether it's going to work. I haven't played with one of these motors since I was, I don't know, 14, 15. I guess the best thing is just to have a go and see whether I can get it started. There's nothing that ignites the fuel, so I'm just trying to start it by spinning it, which is what you have to do. I've got some memories coming back of the difficulty of trying to start these engines. It's spinning just too fast. If I were to put that in the car would just take off like a rocket. And it's not very user-friendly either, so I'm going to have a rethink.
While Steve scratches his head, Jay has recruited Dom to look at the car's tired bodywork.
The first thing I'm going to do is to just clean off all the dirt and then take off ever so slightly the top layer of paint. I'll then touch in some of the worst of the damage, but I want to be very careful because I don't want this to look brand new. It's got a lot of history wrapped up inside of it, so I want to leave some of that character, but I think we could get it looking a little bit smarter. Now I've got the body of the race car all lovely and clean and shiny. I'm going to focus on the red first of all. Once I've got that looking good and happy with where it is, then I'll tackle this bumblebee.
Back at his bench, Steve's gone up a gear and worked out how he might be able to power the car.
What I have been able to find is an electric motor, and hopefully it will do the job really nicely. It'll be clean, it'll be safe. I do need to now start getting some of the wheel work, the axles, back in here so I can fit the electric motor. quite good fun, actually, when you're doing something like this. It's like doing a puzzle when you can't look at the top of the box.
Steve, you okay? Here's the car.
That looks absolutely great. You know, you've done that just right.
Just
absolutely
carefully,
just right.
so it doesn't look too different,
yeah.
but just a bit tidier, hopefully.
Which is the B that you've done?
Yeah, that's the right answer.
Serious?
This one.
Is it?
But yeah. Very subtly, just sort of lifted it a little bit.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Hey, no problem at all. The rest of it's coming on okay?
Yep, hopefully I'll have the motor in soon.
Awesome. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Right, once I've bolted this engine in place, I'll need a coupling that goes from the shaft of the engine through to the running gear of the car. So I'm just going to turn one up. Great, that coupling actually is spot on. So I'm just going to pop the motor in now. So all I need to do is get all the electrics done, and then we can get it whizzing along the ground. This is my grandfather's old soldering iron. I don't know how many years old it is, but it works so well. I love it to bits.
Just arriving at the barn is an item that's crossed not just yards, but continents. Belonging to David Sawyer from Macclesfield, it's in desperate need of the expert craftsmanship of furniture restorer Will Kirk.
Hi there.
Hello.
Look at this. What is it?
It's something that my mother brought over from Malaysia when she married my father over 60 years ago.
What were your parents' names?
Wilfred and Mary.
So how and where did they meet then?
So my dad joined the army very young and he was posted out to Singapore. I think my mum was 16 when she first met my dad, and then a few years courting. They got married and the box came over to the UK around about 1958.
Okay.
And consequently, as they've moved with the army, my dad was in the army, they moved quite a lot. My dad was posted to Paris and then back to Singapore, and then we went to Malta, Germany, and the box just travelled.
Just travelled with them?
Yeah.
That must have been really interesting as a child to be going to so many different countries.
Yeah, I think it was, you know, we were always somewhere different. And every time we moved, pack the bags, pack the trunk again, pack this little box with all mementos, and then off we'd go to the next place we were going to live.
So tell me a bit more about your mum.
She was a larger-than-life character, but I think she had to be. I think Mum was 19, 20-year-old in the 50s and the 60s. It was a very different climate to it is, you know, in today's day and age.
Definitely.
I miss her. I miss my dad as well. So,
So how comes that you have the box now?
My mother died 25 years ago and my dad died 17 years ago. And I became the curator. And at the time, it kept photographs in.
Is there anything in the box now? Any photos, or is it empty?
No, I've got a few in there that just...
Yes. So is your father in that picture?
Yeah, so my father's here, he's at the end.
That's amazing. And this is...
Is my mum. Yeah, that was my mum taking...
You actually look a lot like your mum. You look a lot like your mum.
We have very similar features.
So what has spurred you on to get this restored now, then?
I retired last year and started to sort out through all the sort of family heirlooms. And the box was there, and for us, this is the beginning, really. When my mum first came over, this was the start of her journey into the UK, and I guess it's the journey of our family. It's almost like an embryonic piece. It's the start of something.
When did most of this damage occur?
It was never seen as anything more than a functional box. So people would put coffees on there, you know. As you can see, it's got lots of things there. You think, what happened here?
It needs a lot of TLC, I can tell you that. And I see that we're missing pieces. I can see this means a lot to your family, and it'd be really nice to have it looking as it did, and I can't wait to get stuck in.
Thank you.
Leave it with me.
Will, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.
The box has been there longer than I've been around. It came over with my mum over 60 years ago. I always think if pieces could tell a story, you know, it's seen every move on every different house we've been in and every different country that we've been to over the last 60 years. I'd love to see it back looking in pristine condition. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he can do with it.
What a story. This box has been travelling around with David's family for so many years. It has seen better days. Aesthetically, it could look a lot better. I mean, it looks quite tired and faded, so it'd be nice to give it a good old clean and a nice polish and wax. That would bring the nice true grain of that teak back through again. Get this back up to scratch, looking lovely again, so David can have all those family memories back inside. At the front here, we're missing quite a large piece of wood that would have been carved, much like this one on the right-hand side. Before I can tackle any of that woodwork, I need to give this a really good clean.
Leather expert Suzie has removed all the old stitching from the bowls bag that belonged to a sportsman who inspired his family. She can now set about making it robust enough for the next generation to use out on the greens.
I have noticed that the handle is showing signs of wear. Joyce's grandfather held this handle for so many years, and I think there's sort of like a tangible connection when you hold the same handle as those that went before you. I can take these rivets off to remove the handle and then line it. The trouble with that is you're going to see that there's new rivets put on, and I'm trying to keep this as original as possible. I'm going to try and line it in situ, which is going to be far more fiddly, but I think the end result is going to look quite invisible. I've got my piece of lining pigskin, and I just need to feed it underneath the holding shape here. It's quite a tight fit, but I think if I just pull and push at the same time, there you go. I love it when a plan comes together. Now to the tricky part. Just make sure that there's no dust around, because I want to make sure that bond is really good. Awkward working conditions. Now I've got that glue curing, I can now start the fun part of stitching the case back together. I want to use exactly the same holes. I'm just going to put some tacking stitches in, using some white thread so it's clear to see, and then it'll be ready for me to start stitching back together. So now I've got those tacking stitches in place, that's going to hold this end on. I can go ahead with the stitching. I never get tired of sewing. I could sew till the cows come home. I find it so incredibly therapeutic. The stitch holes are still in good enough condition for me to reuse, but I still have to treat it with a little bit of respect. You've only got a minute amount of movement in there before you'll bust that hole out. So gently does it. Okay. I am struggling a little bit with getting going here, and I've got double amount of thread going through that hole as well, so this is a critical couple of holes that have to anchor this together, and I can't afford to bust this stitch. Always makes me nervous when I have to bring the old granddad's pliers into play, because I'm having to put a little bit of extra push behind it. So this is putting a huge amount of stress on this hole. So we'll see how we go. Oh, there was a bit of resistance, but sometimes you just have to keep pulling. Now you just pull that thread up. Right. First stitch, done. Now the rest should be a breeze.
As Suzie battles on, her equally dedicated sibling Steve has almost reached the finish line with the toy racing car.
There you go. I'll do. Right. Let's just flick the switch. Marvellous. That's going to work really well. Good. This car hasn't whizzed along the ground for so many years. Linda is going to be so chuffed with this. And I'm sure Venanti would be very proud of what I've done as well. So I'm very, very happy. I just need to get the bonnet on and then it's done.
For Linda, the resourcefulness of her Polish dad, who made 2 daring escapes from the Nazis in the Second World War, is encapsulated in the engine-powered toy he crafted for her from scratch. She's returned with her daughter Lucy, hoping to see it restored and back in action.
I haven't seen the car going since the 1950s. And as a very little girl, I remember chasing after this red thing that went like the clappers. Me and my brothers just giggling with glee. It's going to be quite emotional seeing it. Hello.
How you doing?
Hello.
Hi.
How you feeling?
Really excited.
Are you You're almost as excited as me. I'm excited as well. What are you hoping for?
Oh, just to see my father's car again. Grandpa fixed it.
Yeah.
He repaired all your toys, so now you'll see a bit of my childhood.
Yeah.
That's good.
OK, let's have a look.
Wow! Oh, my gosh, that is...
It looks just perfect. I'm so pleased to see the bees are still there. And I daren't pick it up. Mum, you better pick it up.
Oh, wow. Oh. Wow. I just... God, you've surpassed yourself, Steve.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It is perfect.
It's still got all of the memories, but just looks ready to go.
Okay. And does it go like the clappers?
We did get the motor going. I don't think it was the right motor for it.
Right.
Because it went too fast. So what I have done is put an electric motor in.
Right.
So it's clean, safe.
Well, it's an environmentally friendly car now, isn't it?
Would you like to see it going?
Yes, please.
OK, right. Jay, would you like to give me a hand with the table?
All right, no problem.
You'll be quick.
My dad was a really, really special man. Really special. And you've brought a bit of him back to me today, so thank you. Didn't want to do that.
You set me off.
He was very special to me.
Yeah. He's a very special man.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this so much. I've had great fun with it, so thank you very much.
No, thank you. Thank you, Steve.
You're more than welcome.
Take care now.
And you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
When I flicked the switch and set the car going, it took me right back could almost hear myself giggling and chasing after it. Happy memories. Brought my dad back. So yeah, it's beautiful.
Looking considerably more beautiful thanks to Will is a Malaysian carved wooden box that travelled the world with its owner.
Now I'm about to replace that missing piece of carving on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, you can just about make out a sort of image of a carved dragon. So I'm going to try to replicate that onto this piece of teak here. Well, that's all the drawing done. I've got the little dragon in there, and I can't wait to start carving. I love carving, so any excuse to get my chisels out is all fine by me.
Faithfully replicating the intricate carved design requires deep concentration and a careful choice of tools.
Quite a lot of newly made furniture starts off as a uniform colour. And as time goes by, and the more that it's handled, parts of it start to wear through. And the lovely thing is, it sort of ends up giving the piece character. The challenging thing is, when you're replacing a panel like this on the front, it can look like a uniform brown colour. So what I need to do here is work with the pigments that I have and try to recreate that sort of worn look so it matches in with the rest of the box. There's always a temptation to sort of slap on loads all at the same time, but it can come across looking too artificial, so it's really good to sort of slowly build up the colour through lots of really thin layers and thin coats. That way you get to see the lovely grain in the wood, and you can get that nice, rich depth of colour. I know that this means so much to David, and it's a real link to his Asian heritage. This box is a time capsule for his family's memories.
Suzie has now successfully sewn every last stitch into the leather bowls bag and is almost ready to return to its owner.
We have one more thing to add at the bottom corner here. Brenton very kindly has made the number 2 that matches the mark that was left behind. What I need to do now is mount it onto the leather. Pop it on like so. Just need to bend the pins back so it's securely fixed. And I just need to finish off using a coloured reconditioning cream, and that's going to tone down some of these lighter areas where the bag has been scuffed. It seems to be taking on a fresher appearance whilst maintaining all of the history of the life that it's led. It has been a real joy to work on. I'm really looking forward to giving it back to Joyce so that she can use it for many years to come.
The once sturdy bowling bag was so well used by its keen sportsman owner, it could no longer carry its set of 3 weighty bowls. Joyce has returned, hoping to be able to use it herself to inspire younger members of her family, like her granddad inspired her.
Hello.
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 I'm a bit confused, Joyce. How come you've got a box? We're supposed to be giving you something. What have you got in there?
I brought the bowls with me.
Oh, you're going to test the bag out?
Yes, I'd like to test the bag.
OK. Bowls are heavy then, as well.
They're very heavy, yes.
Let's go test the stitches, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great.
I really want you to see this bag. You ready?
I'm ready. Oh, my goodness! Oh, that's fabulous! Oh, I can't believe that. Oh, Suzie, that is absolutely wonderful. Oh, thank you so much. Can I touch it?
Of course.
Oh, that's amazing. You've been able to put the number 2 on as well. Even the feel of it is so nice. And all the stitching's complete. Oh, that is absolutely amazing. I can't believe it.
So the big test now is to see if the bowls can get in there and hop. She's worried. I'm sure it's going to be fine, isn't it? Because that's what he's done for years. Edward would put his bowls in there and carry it around, put it in the boot.
That's a set of bowls that my father used, who my grandfather taught to bowl.
Yeah.
And these are the bowls that belong in this bag.
Oh, really?
Lovely.
So they're reunited with the bag that they belong to.
Yes. Back at home in the bag.
Ready, Suze?
No.
Close your eyes.
The big test. Oh, perfect.
Look, Suzie.
Absolutely perfect.
It's working.
Yes. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I would like to challenge you to a game of bowls. You can use my father's bowls.
Really?
And I'll use my grandfather's bowls.
OK.
There's the challenge.
That's the challenge. I'm ready.
Good.
Let's get going. So here's our bowling green. Will that do?
Oh, well, it's not quite championship standard.
OK.
I was absolutely amazed and thrilled. It was fabulous.
So what's the jack do then? You just got to throw the jack, that will go in, and
we
we're
don't
aiming.
throw it,
We
bowl it.
All right.
And then it's who gets the nearest bowl to the jack.
Well, that's me, obviously. It's OK.
I'll be able to walk with the bowls in the bag securely, and I'll be able to go and play crime green bowls in the village where I live. So I'm winning at the moment.
Here we go, Jay.
So this might be the winning shot.
It could well be.
Come on. I need a winning one. Go on, James. Go. Oh! I've won!
Yes, yes, you won. Well done, Jay.
So I'm a natural.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm buying
absolutely.
a set.
I can't wait to get back to the family and reintroduce them to family competition again.
On Will's workbench, the carved wooden box is almost ready to go home.
The last thing I need to do is take out these fine scratches on the top surface and give it a once-over polish. I can get it back to David.
The once smart box that accompanied David's late mother from Malaysia to her new life in the UK had badly deteriorated over time. David has returned with his daughter Francesca, who will inherit this cherished family keepsake as a link to her heritage.
The box represents a great deal, not only to me, but to my family, because I think it's brought the family a lot closer together.
Me and my brother both didn't meet my grandma, so it makes me quite happy because I feel like I'll be like a little bit closer to her.
Who's this?
Yes, I brought my daughter Francesca.
Hiya.
Hello. All right.
Francesca, you know, will be the custodian of the sort of the box and the family history that goes with it, so it will stay within our family.
David, what would it mean to you and your family to have this looking back the way that you remember it?
So much. And I haven't seen it in its glory for probably over 30 years.
I want him to see it.
Shall we have a look?
I'd love to have a look.
Okay.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. I never thought it'd ever look the same again as it did. Brilliant. Just remember it for what it is. I'm gonna thank you.
It's a pleasure.
It looks really good. It looks amazing.
It does, doesn't it?
It means a lot to my dad.
You can see that.
Obviously.
Yeah, you can see it.
I didn't think you'd be able to do that. It's amazing. It's the smell as well. When I opened the box, it's something that just reminded me of when I was younger. I can't even begin to thank you enough. It's amazing.
More than welcome.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you both.
Thanks.
Cheers.
See you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
The box is seeped with memories. When it was broken, something was definitely missing, and as ridiculous as it might sound, getting the box repaired has just sort of filled that gap.
I knew he'd be really happy, and I knew it'd bring back a lot of memories for my dad. So it was really nice to see him just like touch it and see it.
It's been a long time since I've seen the box in its glory. So, yeah, it was good.